And good evening, everyone, from a beautiful night at Colonia High School, home of the Patriots. We are here tonight for the matchup of the Union County Conference Mountain Conference of Union, Plainfield High School Cardinals versus Colonia High School of the GMC White Division. I'm here this evening with Coach Michael Boyle, former all-county coach and longtime coach at St. Joe's. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you very much, Steve. Looking forward to a good game here tonight between what looks like two well-placed teams. You know, two teams that could look to do a bit of damage. And we're underway.
And Michael, both these teams early on, really trying to figure themselves out.
Absolutely. Both teams are similar in the last 5 games. We have a 2-2-1 record, I believe, for Plainfield, and Colonia have a 3-1-1 record.
That's a good touch down the middle.
Yeah.
It's well played defensively by number 7, Noah Bello.
Well, the big kid, number 9, is their guy. He's got 4 goals on the season. One of 2 guys on the team that has 4 goals. Hugo. So I think he's going to be somebody to watch for Plainfield.
It's a good challenge in the midfield, touched upfield. It's a tough collision. Maybe a little head contact there, but I think might have been a little elbow. It's played across by Colonia and settled nicely. Good possession there by Colonia. And the ball runs out.
Oh.
Sometimes on this field, it's a little tricky where the sideline is. I think he might have got it confused on some of the lines on that touch.
I would agree with that. The conglomeration of different lines on the side of the field can make it difficult.
Well, that's a good strike on goal by Plainfield. That's their main player. That's Hugo. I'm sure you'll hear us call his name and number quite often tonight. That's their go-to player.
And not to be disrespectful to Hugo, but his real name is unpronounceable.
Rather than butcher it, Michael, we'll just go
just
with
call him
Hugo.
Hugo. Apparently that's what he goes by.
That was the coaching I got from
Yes.
their coach. So that's well played across the back. Settled down. And there's a steal by Plainfield, and he's in the box. And it's driven across. Yeah. Just goes wide for a goal kick, Colonia.
So Plainfield put in a lot of early pressure on, and Colonia have coughed the ball up twice. This is something they're going to have to pay attention to as the game progresses.
There's a shoulder-to-shoulder in the midfield. Once again, playing in, trying to touch around. Looks very physical in the midfield right now. Using the depth of the sweeper back. And there's a steal in the midfield by Colonia.
So, Steve, we always like to look out and see what the formations are on both teams, and I would say the Colonia are playing with 4 in the back, 2 centre-backs, whereas, so 4-4-2, whereas it looks like Plainfield are playing that diamond 4 in the back with a deep-lying sweeper, number 4. Jonathan Arias, their captain.
So, Michael, Plainfield comes in out of the Mountain Conference in Union County. They are near the bottom of the division at 4-4-1, but they really have played some quality teams. They're playing teams like New Providence and Summit, really 2 quality teams in the state.
And Cranford are going good this year as well.
And there's a driven ball and just wide again. Some opportunities from the top of the box for Plainfield. I think early on, Colonia looked
like they're under pressure.
A little disorganized in the defensive third, and it definitely does not look like Plainfield is shy for taking shots. Good idea early in the game, quick turf, and they can definitely look to find success there. It looks like that shot was tipped or deflected.
So we have our first corner of the game. So Plainfield corner, keeping the pressure on Colonia.
These teams head-to-head in the past have played once, and Colonia won that game 6-3.
That was way back in 2010. I think a lot of water has flowed under the bridge since 2010.
Some of the kids on the field weren't born yet.
Yeah.
Most of them weren't born yet. It's good combination play in the midfield. Ball's played into the corner by Plainfield, cut back, crossed into the middle, well defended by Colonia. And there's a hard touch.
I think at this point of the game, Colonia are having a tough time trying to possess the ball in midfield. Plainfield looked the stronger team to start the game. Again, I would say another situation where people didn't understand the lines on the field.
So Colonia comes into the game today at 7-2-1, really playing well. They have they're currently second in the white division, and they're just behind Piscataway for the lead in that division. So really has some of the senior depth, I think, has played a real benefit for Colonia early in the season. It's well touched by their sweeper back. That ball's touched out for a Colonia throw. Little touch in the back. Some physical play also early on. I think you can definitely see some strategy, looking for those bigger players, fast players up front, looking for that space. Good ball through the midfield for Colonia. Touch back to the midfield. He drives through the middle. A touchdown. That'll be a direct kick.
Dangerous ball.
That's Noah Bello, who was taken down.
It's a dangerous position for a free kick.
It's about 35 yards out. Looks like their defense is going to drop back inside their 18, around the 12, chipped into the box and just wide. Looking for the far post run. Michael, we were here last week and we saw some of the strategies of the Colonia girls team, and the Lady Patriots showed a very, very complex strategy. Get the ball to the corner, get the ball across. A little more direct here tonight. Not sure if that'll change over time, but something we'll want to keep an eye on. That ball's headed out for a Plainfield Cardinal throw. Could not ask for better weather here tonight.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Cloud in the sky, and
I think the last night we were here, it was
cool evening. Yeah. That's touched back into the midfield by Plainfield. A little predictable on some of those touches.
Good call by the referee. That was an offside. I made the run too early.
It's well played by Colonia to hold that high line, understanding that ball is going to be very difficult to keep on side, because once it hits the turf, it's a runaway.
Turf is quick.
It's well shielded and touched away. So for the viewing audience, we'd like to just make sure that you understand that when the balls go out of bounds, there might be a slight delay. We've got some work being done at the Colonia High School field. They're resurfacing the track, so you might see some caution tape around the field to just protect the players. And if the ball goes out of play, the trainers came up with a very ingenious way to make sure that they can get the ball and not walk on the track. So we have to thank them for their ingenuity. That's well touched.
If they can get a nice shot off
Noah
here.
Bellow, one of their main players. That's a good
good
turn
effort.
at the top of the box.
Steve, I know you're probably saying it to yourself. I would like to have seen him use his left foot in that situation going into the box.
It looks like a very powerful right foot, though, Michael. I have to say, I think
Agreed.
He was trying to hook that ball from the top of the box. Just ran a little away from him. And that appeared to be a handball play on by the official. And Plainfield makes a run down the right side. Cleared away nicely by the Patriots. They are certainly not afraid to put one on goal. Michael, their sweeper back does play very deep. It allows a little more space for that Colonia offense to.
And it's given them the width in the corners.
And that ball is just touched out.
So, Steve, I'm always interested in looking at these teams. Is there a change in the formation between when they have possession and when they don't have possession? Do we see a 4-3-3?
Turnover in the midfield. A missed slide tackle. Very dangerous. And Plainfield moves into the box, trying to find their main players in the box. And that ball struck a goal, and that's over the net for another Patriots goal kick.
So Plainfield looked very dangerous there on the fast break.
I think early in the game, it's good to get some of those shots off. I think a little bit later in the game, they're going to have to use a little more creativity.
More guile.
Get a little deeper. And that ball's offside, right in front of the referee.
It was a good call. He's right on top of that today.
Plainfield definitely trying to use their speed in that final third. And that's a dispute on that throw in, but it appears to have gone off Colonia for Patriots retreat to defensive posture in the midfield. And it's called a handball on Plainfield. So, Michael, I know we've had some fun with this in the past few games, outlining some of the interests of the varsity players. So the coaches were kind enough to provide us some information again. So I'm gonna start today with highlighting Brandon D'Souza, number 0,
Goalkeeper.
the goalkeeper for the Colonia Patriots, and he's a senior, and his favorite movie is Conjuring. His favorite music is Ken Carson. 2 things which I've never even heard of, Mike. So just showing
when I read them before the game, I said the same thing to myself.
Showing my age a little bit, but you'll be happy to know as a math teacher that this young man his favorite subject is math and not lunch, which was a big popular one.
A favorite among the girls, particularly AP lunch.
And his most memorable soccer moment was something that I think that all players that play at this level, which is not easy to do and not for everyone, is making varsity, and really getting that perhaps it's seeing the posting, perhaps it's the coach coming over and saying, hey, you're on the team. Yeah. And that's a big moment in a player's career. So I'd love to see that. So, there's a left-footed shot from the top of the box.
Nice opportunistic shot.
That's well played by
the
Christian
keeper.
Alvarez, and well positioned by Ricardo Medina, the goalkeeper for Plainfield. Christian Alvarez, the midfielder, is also a senior, and he is one of the 3 captains. The 3 captains for Colonia are Anthony Palladito, Noah Bello, and Christian Alvarez. Congratulate them on that position of honor within their mates. Still appears to be a little punch-counter punch here. It's not too rough, but it's definitely been not a lot of opportunities offensively. From good opportunities, I'll say.
Good opportunities, definitely not.
That's well played to the right and well challenged by Plainfield for Colonia throw. It's well played through the midfield by Plainfield. Looking to play that line.
Again.
Well played by Colonia. High line about 35 yards out. And I like to see the goalkeeper working in tandem in the back.
You can see this here. He's high on the box. So we have a nice crowd here tonight too, Steve, on such a nice evening. It's nice to see people coming out to support the team.
Well, when a team comes in with the reputation of scoring goals and winning games, it makes a nice fall evening a little brighter and brings out a few more people. So, Michael, why don't you tell us about another one of the captains, Anthony
Polito, number 3. He's a senior, and actually he's having quite a nice game tonight. He's already made a couple of nice defensive plays, particularly a really good header out of the back. Obviously, his favourite sport is soccer, and his favourite movie is Field of Dreams. Is that a little bit of a mix-up there?
It sounds like he could be a baseball player as well. He seems to be a good athlete, Michael. So that would not surprise me.
Favourite music is country. And I suppose we have to give a shout out to Chris Christopherson here tonight, having passed away this week. Country legend. His favourite subject is history. And his most memorable soccer moment was beating Chatham 2-1 last year to advance to the state finals. What a great moment for a crowd of young fellas to have.
Colonia last year had several sports move into the state tournaments.
Yes.
Move deep into the state tournaments. And there's Plainfield at the top of the box. This is where they've been looking for that shot.
Yeah.
And well played by Brandon.
Colonia's defence has been
D'Souza.
keeping them to long-range shots, which has been very, very good. It's a strong defence.
That's a charge in the back.
Yeah.
That'll be a
I think the referee didn't like the play.
I think there might have been a play before that where those two collided. It may have been a little
The afters.
extra on that one.
So we have 20 minutes gone here, Steve, and there's nothing between these teams yet.
That ball's played into the
It's a
box.
great ball into the box.
Making the goalkeeper come out and just headed wide. Very dangerous ball played from about midfield into about the 6-yard box. Ball was headed out of bounds by a Colonia defender.
By Plainfield defender, Steve.
A Plainfield
We've
defender.
got Colonia's second corner of the game.
That ball's played in well. The far post and just headed wide. Looking for the ball at the far post.
That was a good play. He just didn't get enough of a head on it. It's number 10. Christian Alvarez.
Ball's played back to the midfield for Plainfield. Cut across. Once again, looking for their strikers making those diagonal runs in the box.
This is nice.
Good combination play in the midfield for Colonia, but it runs out of bounds for a Plainfield throw. Plainfield in their white uniforms, all white strip, white socks, white shorts, white shirt. And the Patriots in their traditional navy and gold. Played into the midfield.
This
Looked
is
to be
nice
played
ball
wide
movement
down
up the left side. He made a nice run.
Always difficult to see if teams even have a left-footed player anymore. They seem to always blend into the middle of the field, but sometimes difficult to find. It's touched at the top of the box by Colonia and touched out. Once again, that's Noah Bello in the middle of the field, really looking for his shots. That's well played through the midfield by Plainfield. Colonia still has numbers in the back. Good
That's
goal
good
side
play.
defense. It's well played again. And that young man is not shy. That is an ambitious strike, as they say.
So, Steve, I don't know if you feel it, but it seemed like Colonia seemed to be growing into this game a little bit more over the last 5 or 8 minutes.
I would say so, Michael. They really appear to be trying to settle the ball a little bit more. And those big balls from Plainfield
Are not causing them too much trouble.
don't seem to be really allowing them to possess the ball that they need. Difficult first touch, but really settled well. Cut into the box by Colonia. Defender slides down, and the ball's touched out for a Patriots throw.
So we just saw there a nice little bit of movement on the left side of the field. That's twice now where some productivity has come from the left side of the field for Colonia. We might see them exploited a little bit more as the game continues.
It's well headed by Plainfield into the midfield, well settled, and that's it. It's a quality strike from distance,
Just
but
a little
that is
high.
a long way out. That is also very ambitious. I think both coaches have said, "Hey, early in the game, let's see what the goalkeeper can do." And I have to say, some of these young men can really hit it.
Strike a ball.
And there we go again. That ball is from 30 yards out, and that whistles wide. So we have some subs now for Plainfield. And while we're subbing and while we have a Colonia goal kick, let me talk a little bit about Noah Bello the third, or the tri-captain, number 7. He's also a senior, and this Patriot team is senior laden. So the expectations are high for this season, for sure. And his favorite sport is soccer. And there is a handball on the field.
It was incidental, but yes, it was a handball.
And that'll be a long kick, direct kick from the midfield by Plainfield. So Noah Bello's favorite movie is Spider-Man. His favorite music is rap. Favorite subject is math, and playing in the state sectional final was his memorable moment of his career. So, and he said, anything else you'd like to tell the TV viewing audience, Noah? And his comment was, "God bless America." So, Noah, thanks for that. And seems like a real positive young man and a good leader for his team. That ball's played into the box and just over the bar for a Patriots goal kick. The student section starts to fill
Starting
in
to
now.
grow a little bit.
Nice to see some young folks coming out to support not just their school, but their friends.
Absolutely. Under the lights are on already.
That's played through. That is Christian Alvarez in the midfield. Seems to be one of Colonia's
Workhorses.
real workhorse players in the middle for sure. And there's Christian again. That ball runs through. Touched out well by Plainfield. Once again, head up, looking for that speed up front. And well dummied by the goalkeeper,
Who just lets it run out
Brandon
innocently.
D'Souza.
Yeah.
Well played. What's his name? Must be a goal.
It's out on the field.
Oh, and that's a goal. And that's a goal for Plainfield. Seemingly from nothing. Quality touch, quality strike, and driven into the goal for a 1-0 lead for the Cardinals of Plainfield. Playing the ball into the corner, and that ball will just roll out of bounds. Good pressure by Plainfield. Colonia is up and back in the play. We'll see now if the shape changes a little bit.
Exactly.
There's another ball through in the box, and well played by Brandon D'Souza in goal for Colonia. Ball's touched across. There's a player down in the midfield. That's Javion Mandry. So looks like he got bumped on a play. A little push in the back. Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about Javion, who just took that thump in the midfield?
Jaden Mandry, an 11th grade. Sorry, wearing number 11. Yeah, he's also a senior. Obviously, his favourite sport is soccer. And favourite movie is Spider-Man. Is this the second gentleman that likes Spider-Man? Favourite music, Javon Brown, Izzy and Smithy. And another guy that likes his history. And again, the favourite soccer moment was winning the division last year. I'm sure this is a memory for a lot of the older players on the team, because you don't get too many opportunities like that.
So we are under 10 minutes in the first half of a 1-0 game. Plainfield with the lone goal. That came at a point in the game where it appeared Colonia really had kind of taken a bit of a hold. And
Well, they were definitely coming back into the game. And it came from an innocuous throwdown deep down in the Colonia half.
appeared to be a handball. They were calling for it from the defender. And I'm sure most people in the crowd could hear one of the players from Colonia. It's driven into the corner and touch out of bounds.
Just worked them out.
For a goal kick for the Patriots. That is a yellow card given to number 8, R.J. Miller. Oh, I'm sorry. That appears to be number 3, Anthony Polito. It's well played by Colonia.
This is what we like to see. This is number 9 working really hard for Plainfield.
And that's a Colonia throw. Oh, that's well
This
played
is a really
by
nice
Colonia.
play.
It's a great touch. In the box, touched around and cleared
Cleared for a corner. That's really nice play by number 10.
That's Christian Alvarez, number 10. Daniel Santos comes off the field. And we have a corner kick for the Patriots. And crossed in, deflected at the near post by Plainfield.
Just an awkward touch on the corner. Causes the ball to go out for a throw.
Dangerous ball, dangerous slide in the in today's game, Michael. Like you leave your feet on the turf, you could be asking for some trouble. But ball's played wide, and the pressure there. And that's a throw in for Plainfield, crossing to the middle. Very confident on the ball, Christian Alvarez. That ball is once again touched out for a Patriots throw.
They're working it up this left side on the throw.
Javon Brown checking into the game. And a well-earned break for number 10, Christian Alvarez.
Just a word on Christian Alvarez. I like to see this. His favorite sport is football. Okay. And favorite movie is The Wolf of Wall Street. Likes rap music, and his favorite school subject, would you believe, is gym.
It's good pressure by Colonia. That ball's deflected out, and that will be a Patriots corner kick. I believe the fourth corner of the game for the Patriots. Looked dangerous on the last two. Looking to find that space around the 6 to 7 yard line. They've been trying to hook that ball in. They've got some big athletic
the big
kids
guys
in the
are
front.
going to the corner of the 6 box.
Like to see if they held somebody a little further on the far post. That ball well kept low, driven to the far post.
It's another Colonia throw.
It's a dangerous ball in the box. It's well touched. Ball drops down, shoulder to shoulder in the box. Two players are tangled, and that's a foul on the Patriots, and that'll be a free out for the Cardinals. That appeared to be a push in the back. That'll be a direct kick for the Patriots through the midfield, pushing their players up. It looks like Plainfield's dropping into the box about the 12-yard line. Ball's played into that space. Well played, flicked on.
And it's
And just wide for a
kick out.
goal kick for the Cardinals of Plainfield.
So, Steve, we're just about at the 2-minute mark. What's your assessment of the first half?
Well, Michael, if my assessment really meant anything, more people would ask for it. But since you did, I'll simply say that I think Colonia, once they settled it down, that there was that little lapse, and that counterattack, this team is dangerous. They have some dangerous players up front, and that moment passed them by. Overall, Plainfield played well. They find they're structured, trying to get their main players the ball. And with that being said, it does leave some gaps, leaves for a little sloppy play. But I think if Colonia can really settle down, they'll find space in the second half.
I agree. I don't think this game is gone yet. You know, this is Colonia have played well in the first half. Little lapse there caused the goal. They've had a couple of nice opportunities, and I think if they continue to work hard and don't lose their shape and keep some control in midfield, I think that they could level this game up easy.
Oh, Michael, this game, I think Plainfield in the second half will really try to slow the game down. They took about 28 seconds to take that goal kick. So that's well played down the left side by Colonia into the box. It's a dangerous poke by the Plainfield defender. That's well settled by the defender of Colonia. And we're at the midfield. Plainfield touches back, settles down, then obviously once again looking for those players up front. And we're under 10 seconds. That ball's going to run wide. And that is the end of the first half at Colonia High School. It is the Cardinals of Plainfield 1 and the Patriots of Colonia 0. We look forward to a really, really strong second half.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
And welcome back to Colonia High School. We are at the start of the second half of a clash between the Cardinals of Plainfield and the Patriots of Colonia High School. We have a 1-0 lead for Plainfield High School. And it was a fairly close match so far. One little lapse of control by the Patriots, and which led to the a very good goal by the Cardinals. So welcome back, Michael.
Welcome back. I don't see very many changes for the second half. I see that number 10, Christian Alvarez, is back on the field, but I think he might have finished the half. He's definitely somebody that Colonia will be looking to bring them back into this game. So,
well played by Colonia through the midfield, trying to settle the ball down a little bit, trying to find a little bit of rhythm. That's good combination play in the middle of the field.
Definitely a lot more touching of the ball, a lot more ball movement.
That ball's played down the left side.
We have a nice move here.
That's number 11, Javian Mandry in the corner. And up to Noah Bello. Noah Bello driving in the box. That's a cross for Colonia.
And we have
up towards the far post, off the post and wide.
So unfortunate, because Colonia have started the second half really, really well. You can see that the coach had a talk with them about trying to make their passes, connect their passes and move the ball, and they definitely started the second half much, much stronger than they finished the first half. The ball movement was really nice. Noah Bello making a big difference here.
That's well controlled through the middle,
Yes.
again by Colonia.
Much, much better ball movement.
Good combination
Okay.
playing just.
I think he was looking for a forward there. We just weren't on the same page for that moment.
Michael, we've been able to see some games early this season, all pretty close. Actually, the Woodbridge High girls game that we called, we had the opportunity to see a last-second goal in that game. Very exciting soccer in the township this year, and that's across the box for Colonia again,
And we get a corner.
and that's touched out for a Colonia corner kick.
Already I see a different attitude in Colonia at the start of the second half. We're much more focused.
A little more urgency, as they say.
Yes.
Some big bodies in the box. The ball's crossed. Near post run. Flicked on. Good opportunity for Colonia. Still around in the box. Touchdown wide. And just
Whizzed across the face of the goal.
across the face of the goal. That is a deep throw for the Cardinals.
A lot of chat among the Colonia players here. I like to see that.
It's a good touch once again by Noah Bello.
Colonia need to get their shape again in midfield.
Had some contact in the back, and that looks like a direct kick. 30
A little bit
yards
of,
out.
as they would call it, Steve, a little bit of argy-bargy there in the middle of the field.
Looking for their 10 yards. Referee's going to mark it off. Should be fairly simple on the turf. But seemingly some of the Plainfield players look trying to bend the rule a little bit. I can appreciate that. And Noah Bello strikes the ball off the foot of the wall. It's well played by Plainfield. Once again, going back to their very predictable style. That's shoulder to shoulder on the sideline. Goes out for a Colonia throw. It's Christian Bronco with the long throw. That's a ball that lands between the defense and the goalkeeper, and that ball roll out of bounds. Good pressure by number 11, Javion Mandry. Justin Trott with the throw in.
Very
Oh,
unlucky. That's another nice turn.
That,
Really nice shot.
that is number
16.
Number 16, Kosiso Okonwo. I'm sure I butchered that name, and
Yes,
I
I think you
apologize
did.
to that young man. Stern warnings by the referee. This will be a little A little discussion about whether the ball was tipped or deflected. Another stern warning by the, we used to call them the men in blue, but they're not in blue anymore, Michael. Well, not tonight at least.
So adjacent to us, Steve, the JV boys team is starting their second half, and they're up 2-0 to start the second half.
See the lights glowing just adjacent to the field that we're on. Beautiful night for soccer here in Colonia. You really feel the energy around the campus. Good student crowd.
Nice
Just
to see.
waiting for that opportunity to erupt.
And I have to give a shout out to William Blauville playing JV tonight for Colonia. So a family friend. It's good to see him play.
That name is familiar in soccer world
Yes.
in Woodbridge Township.
Very.
A little nudge off the ball. And there's a foul in a dangerous position. About 20 yards out, 22 yards out. It appears that Plainfield's going to back up to about the
Top of the
10.
box.
They're in the box about 10 yards
Oh, yeah.
out. Looks like they're going to aim for that spot about the 6-yard line, Michael. Make the
think
goalkeeper
so.
come out. They've got some big bodies in there. Far post. Oh, he goes near post and good swing. That's an ambitious hit from there.
He was well struck.
Well struck. Just outside the goal. It's a goal kick for Plainfield. So
We
Michael,
can't really see it from here, but that ball went out for a Colonia throw.
going back in time a few years, there was one thing that we, just knowing the players that Plainfield had, always very technically pretty sound, a lot of individual talent,
Yes.
and struggled to put a team concept together sometimes. However, this team looks very, very together, and they really seem to be playing for each other right now. So that's
Absolutely.
something I think that has grown over the years. That's well touched by Colonia. Good play in the midfield. And there's Noah Bello, not just tough on the ground, but also in the air. One thing we also talk about, Michael, in the past with the team from Plainfield is fitness levels. That was one thing that notoriously they struggled with in the second half.
Well, we're going to see today, because I think this game is anybody's yet, and both teams have had to work very, very hard. So the second half's going to be very telling.
That's a direct kick for Colonia. Ball touched away. And the referee appears to be giving another warning, seemingly to the same player, but
So there's been a little change in the Plainfield setup. Hugo has moved into the midfield, and number 25 has moved up front.
that's Robert Vasquez.
Robert Vasquez, number 26.
That is a yellow card to can't see the number.
So in this situation, there'll be a yellow card probably issued to the coach as well for the team not having the proper equipment. He's responsible for making sure that the team have the proper equipment. That means shin guards.
So, Michael, in your tenure, more than 10 years behind the bench, have you received a card or two for that?
A card or two. When you put your faith in 16-year-old kids, sometimes there's going to be an odd shin guard missing. I could tell stories there, Steve, but we'll not start telling stories tonight.
Sometimes they know better, Michael.
Yeah.
And it might not look as cool.
Yeah. That's it too.
So this ball is about 40 yards out. Top of the box for the defense. Playing a high line. Goalkeeper kept it to his line. A lot of space in there. That ball's played in and dropped by the goalkeeper, but
regathered.
Gathered and secured. So, Michael, let me get back to talking about some of these player profiles.
Well, we can give a shout out to Lucas Bello because we talked about his brother earlier on. He's a 10th grader. Favorite sport is soccer. Fast and the Furious. And I think that's what this game will become later, the Fast and the Furious. Favorite music is rap and country. That's a big difference, Steve. Okay. Favorite subject is Spanish.
A Jelly Roll fan. Maybe a little country and rock and rap all together.
Well, I like this. His most memorable soccer moment was that he once saved 3 penalties in a row during a penalty shootout for his team. That is a nice memory.
As a former goalkeeper, I can tell you that that's not luck. That is see the ball, read the ball, get the ball. That's a play in the
We're
back.
always going to get called for that.
A little underneath the midfielder there by Christian Alvarez. So I want to do a player profile for Christopher Amabile. So Christopher is, I found out at halftime, the grandson of a friend of mine named Helen Horan, who was a longtime administrator and educator in Perth Amboy. And quite honestly, a great person. And her grandson's out here playing today. And this is number 9, and he... his favorite sport is soccer. Wolf of Wall Street. So I don't know if Principal Horan's going to like that. Wolf of Wall Street's his favorite movie, but nonetheless.
And to give him a shout out, he's only a midfielder playing varsity here. He's a freshman, playing varsity and midfield. It's
a tall task.
It's a tall task for a young 9th grader.
Favorite music is rock. Favorite subject is history. And starting varsity for my freshman year, which is now, is that young man's favorite high school or favorite soccer memory. So shout out to Mrs. Horan and to her grandson, Christopher. So it was great to see her this evening out at Colonia High School. We're approaching the 26-minute mark at Colonia High School. 1-0 game with Plainfield High School Cardinals. Oh, that's a great touch. Over the top. Well saved.
What a great save.
A great touch by the striker from Plainfield. And played in very well. Nice strong hand by Brandon D'Souza in goal for Colonia.
Getting a little seniors.
It's the point in the game that we give the listening or the viewing audience the opportunity to just hear some of the communication from the field. And I think when we've talked about that in the past, Michael, how important is communication in these close match games?
I really feel that it's an area where a lot of these kids can improve tremendously with regards to their soccer. Coaching each other and talking to each other on the field is so, so important. It helps with every aspect of the play, offensive, defensive. It's so important to get them to talk to each other.
It's well played by both players. Oh, that's well settled, well turned.
He's had a very nice game.
Seems to be a real workhorse in the middle. The young man has a lot of speed into the box, runs out of bounds for a Patriots goal kick.
So, Steve, this is an opportunity to say a few words about Jared Patel, number 22. He's playing outside right in the back. He's having quite a nice game. He's a 12th grader. Obviously, his favourite sport is soccer. And his favourite movie, another Fast and the Furious guy, but this is Too Fast and Too Furious. Okay? And favourite subject is Spanish. And obviously his most memorable soccer moment was winning the division last year. Last year was a great year for Colonia.
It's a dangerous play in the midfield. And that's a direct kick for the Patriots. I think the referee was giving a glance of embellishment there. But
I don't know what he was thinking.
big collision nonetheless. So Noah Bello now comes back to take this ball. My guess is trying to put it in the box.
Ball, yeah.
Making the goalkeeper make a decision. Oh, well settled at the near post.
Very good save.
And a good save by goalkeeper Ricardo Medina for the Cardinals.
Okay, Mandre.
Javian Mandry on that last play, Michael, settled that ball. It was played about 60 yards from Noah Bello. Settled the ball in a dime and got a near post shot off.
It was a really nice play.
Good quality save by the goalkeeper. Looking for that moment of brilliance. And that was the near miss. Communication in the back, well played by goalkeeper D'Souza. Good distribution. That ball's going to bounce several times. It's well played by Plainfield. About 30 yards out. Drop back to the midfield, played wide to the left, and the player's in an offside position.
That was very good ball. That was very good movement by Colonia. Just took 2 steps up. That's all it was. It was 2 steps up. Caught him offside. So I think we've seen this last couple of minutes that Colonia are going to the long ball a little bit.
And that is a foul from behind on Colonia. This will be a Plainfield throw, and they'll be in no hurry. Looking to slow the game down a little bit. This ball's about 40 yards out. Brandon D'Souza, the goalkeeper for Colonia,
No, they took it short.
communicating and seeing that ball. Good, clean hold. Looking for a counter. That ball once again well settled by Colonia. Now a counterattack. And that is out for a Colonia goal kick. We are under 20 minutes to go. A 1-0 lead for the Cardinals of Plainfield. Ball's poked away nicely. Good pressure by Plainfield. Played across. Well touched back. Trying to find some width
This
now.
is so much better.
And that's Noah Bella through the middle. Just a little off on
Just
that
a little bit
combination.
too far ahead of him.
That's well played by Colonia. So that safety play, you seem just trying to hoof it out, as they say. Good play around the back by the Patriots. Some physical
So,
play in the midfield.
We see some nice ball movement at Colonia at the moment. It comes in fits and starts. You know, sometimes they get a little bit anxious and they kick the ball, but when they settle down and start to move the ball, they look really threatening. And we have a Colonia player down.
There's a timeout on the
Is that
field.
Noah Bello sitting on the...
Looks like there was a 50-50 challenge at midfield. Looks like perhaps a twisted ankle,
I don't think that. I think
little-
it's just ribs.
little
He's
knock.
Yeah.
Not quite calling for the trainer yet. So that's good news.
He's getting up. He looks fine.
There you go. You can see the Plainfield players taking the opportunity to get some water. I believe we saw a long throw early in the first half. And there we go again. That's well played. And pulled
A
towards
little bit of
the
a mishit there in the box.
Yeah.
Number 12 for Colonia.
pulled towards the near post.
Number 10, sorry.
That's well played with purpose in the middle of the field.
So, Steve, at this point of the game, who do you feel Colonia's most influential player is, most impressive player?
I really think that Noah Bello in the midfield has really been a workhorse, both offensively and defensively. I think they really look to him to really be the engine in that midfield.
I don't disagree.
I think also Christian Alvarez really seems to have some real talent up front, and if the ball drops the right way, he will certainly take advantage.
I do like Javen Mandre as well. I think the three of them have been the standout players for Colonia for me today.
Agreed. That's headed out for a Colonia throw. And there's that long throw. Christian's down in the box. Tell you, when Colonia play as they say, plays feet,
They look
Okay.
much better team, don't they?
when they start to make some.
There's plenty of time left in this game. It's just over 16 minutes. They need to keep their focus and just keep doing what they know they're good at, which is playing the ball to feet.
It's a long throw again by Colonia. That ball's played up and played out by Brendan D'Souza. That's
Very
well
nice.
played by Noah. And Noah's in the box, cutting across the top of the box, about 20 yards out. Oh, and that's tipped in. That's tipped in by the defender.
And that's a very good goal by Noah Bello. He did a lot of work. He had to work really hard to get that shot off.
At 15:22 left in the second half, Noah Bello with a great run into the box, onto his right foot, playing the ball across, tipped in by an own goal by the Plainfield defender, just past the outstretched arm of goalkeeper Ricardo Medina. And it's 1-1 here in Colonia with 15:22 to go.
And based on the second half performance, Colonia could now go on to win this game, I feel.
Tell a little more energy in the area now.
I would like to point out, Steve, that goal did not come from a deep ball sent through. It was well worked. It's what Colonia do best.
That's a foul by Colonia. And free out for the Cardinals. So, Michael, sometimes we say, an own goal, is unearned. And I have to tell you that Noah Bello made the play in the midfield, took the ball across the top of the box, and made the play.
Without a doubt. He deserves all credit for that goal. I know it was tipped at the end, but his work rate, his effort, his desire, actually.
Speed into the box by the Cardinals. Crossed to the far post, and that's offside. Referee right on that line, on the far post.
It was a good play.
It was
It was a nice ball movement.
good look by Plainfield, looking for the runner at the far post.
The weak side player.
That ball's played out. Oh, and that's two players in the box. Oh, and that's tipped around
That was some nice play again.
and scooped up
Christian
by
Alvarez.
goalkeeper Medina.
Really working hard here.
Another good opportunity for Colonia. I think the same thing we said about Colonia, I think we might be able to say about Plainfield as well. If they play feet, they'd be, I think, a lot better. Very tough, very easy from here.
I know.
But down there, it's a physical game. And playing on turf also adds a little bit more difficulty on the settling of the ball. It runs a little bit further, runs a little bit
Bounces a bit
faster.
higher.
It changes the game. But certainly, the midfielders seem to have a little more gap now. So I think counterattacks come into play. And there's another long throw. Seems to be. There's a ball into the box, and that's deflected
It's a corner, yes.
for
a little
a
touch.
Colonia corner kick.
I could hear it up here, the little touch. I know Plainfield are protesting, but there was definitely a little touch on it.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a protest anymore. No? And I believe this ball is going to play it up to the top of the box and drilled in. That was well played by Colonia. That's a turnover in the midfield. And that's well played. Good patience by the Colonia defender. That's Justin Trott, who allowed that ball just to run out of bounds. Just be very patient to not give up a foul in that situation. That ball's played in, and
It's an offside.
It's an offside. I'd like to compliment Thomas Jaworski for calming his team down. The head coach for Colonia High School really, I think, made some plans at halftime to really switch the play. He's really settled his team down, and his seniors have really
Accepted the challenge.
Absolutely. Which all coaches look for, that senior leadership. It's also nice to have some young legs, some of these underclassmen that can really add some speed and talent. And that's a drive to the far post, and that's a goal! That's a great strike from Noah Bello. Clearly been the player of the match so far. That ball was struck from about 20 yards out, wide to the far post, driven into the net.
Beat the keeper for pace. We can hear some of the fans getting into it as well. Nice to see.
I think that goal is going to be a season highlight for sure, as Noah Bello gives the Patriots of Colonia a 2-1 lead with 9:58 to go in the second half.
He's definitely had a dominant performance in the second half.
During the pregame, Coach Juraski mentioned his seniors and said there was several that have really made the difference. But the senior play, specifically of Noah Bello at this point, has really made the difference and give the Patriots that lead. It's a hard collision on the near side. I think once again looking for a quick throw. A lot of players in the same area. There's a late challenge by number 12, Joel Pagero.
I think that was more out of frustration.
And that will earn that young man a card.
A walk to the sideline to cool off. I mean, that is one of the good things about high school sports, high school soccer, is the yellow card. You have to go off for one play. Makes the young fella think about what's going on, and it's a teaching moment for coaches.
So about 42 yards out.
So what are we seeing here? We're going to go to the top of the six again.
I think we're looking for that gap,
right corner
about
of the
halfway
six.
in between.
What
And
were
Noah
you
Bella
about
take. That young man is feeling it.
He's definitely in the zone tonight.
They say in basketball, all of a sudden the net, you start draining some threes, and the basket starts looking a lot bigger. I think Noah Bello's feeling that way on the soccer field tonight. Oh, that's well turned at the top of the box by Christian Alvarez. touch into the midfield, and there's a chance at goal that spins wide. I can't say that there was a mistake made by Plainfield on that goal. It was just a classic strike from outside the box and really beat the goalie clean to the far post. Those of you Woodbridge Township soccer fans can check that one. Stop that one on the VCR if you still have one, because that's a classic.
Maybe it should make the goal zone tonight.
Not sure what kind of throw-in that was, but allowed by the referee. There's appeared to be an obstruction in the midfield. Colonia player back up on his feet, and magically Noah Bellows there again.
Keeper.
And that's what it's a little miscommunication. Goalkeeper calls the ball, and that's
back to the safe hands of the goalkeeper.
A little uneasiness in that ball at the top of the box. That ball's driven above the lights here at Colonia High School. That's played into that middle section. And that is I guess he got him for running into the goalkeeper. Foul in the box on the goalkeeper, which will be a free out for the Cardinals.
So just around 6 minutes left. Colonia now have to manage this to the end.
It's hands on the back on Colonia. It'll be a direct kick for Plainfield. Pushing players into the box now from the midfield. Colonia's defensive line is about the 15. Goalkeeper off his line. Boxes the ball well at the top of the box. There's an attempt with good pressure once again by Colonia. Christian Alvarez keeps that ball in on the far side. There's that deflection. Starts spinning on the turf, Michael. That can lead to some messy play. Just stepped over. Once again, Javion Mandry, really a workhorse up front.
This is much.
That's
this
well
is so
played.
Nice.
Justin Trott takes that ball. I think I'd like to see Javion taking that ball. Taking that ball to the corner instead of cutting across.
Oh, great.
That is a sophisticated touch there by Noah Bello into the midfield. Oh, and there's a push in the back. That was not called by the officials. And that's well out.
This is where, in a moment, that was definitely a foul, but it wasn't called, and the coaches can't get too upset about it. They've got to manage this game to the end.
Not sure how a play like that can be missed, but they've not to disparage some of our referees, but I think there's been a call
It happens.
missed here or there from time to time throughout the years. The two official system.
Just one or two, Steve,
Just
throughout
one
the
or
years.
two. Just one or two. There's a push in the back as well. But that's good combination play by Plainfield through the midfield. Touched across. Oh, that's much better by Colonia out of the back.
So much
Now
cleaner.
looking to find,
There we go. Okay, okay.
and that is an offside by Colonia.
So you can hear that communication by the defense here in Colonia, talking about matchups and who's got who.
Clearly staying goal side at this point, forcing Plainfield to the outside. Critical at this point. And that ball's on.
He's on, he's in his own
He's
half.
on, he's in. And he's around the goalkeeper. And it's off the post. Oh, that's
No.
a goal.
It's a goal.
That's a great goal from the midfield. The high line of Plainfield allowed for the offside trap to be conquered. And that was Christian Alvarez with the
A
goal.
well-deserved goal to Christian Alvarez, who's worked so hard in this game.
And that is 3-1 Colonia with 2:51 left in the second half, as the seniors of Colonia High School have really taken charge of this game.
It was a real team effort.
The high line of the offside trap at the midfield, a 50, 60-yard run at goal for Christian. Kept his head up, cut around the goalkeeper, and slotted it in the far post. From our angle, I wasn't quite sure if it hit the far
It
post,
hit
but
something on the inside of the goal, where it's the support structure on the inside of the goal.
once again, I'll have to go back to my VCR replay edition to get it right. But really exciting game here tonight. I believe there's a timeout on the field for a substitution for Colonia. That's Jacob Marin who comes off the field. And that ball goes out for a Plainfield throw. Played into the box. Played in by Plainfield.
It's
And
to the
that's-
corners you go with the ball now, Steve. We're in the last two.
It's good pressure on the outside.
And we just have a penalty.
That's once again Christian Alvarez in the box. Some feisty play. And my hope is that
Things are getting a little bit ugly
No.
here.
and all players can settle down and
That's number 22.
so separating both teams at this point. And we're just going to let this play out. We've got 1:59 left in the game. 3-1
Colonia have
Colonia.
to take a penalty.
There's been a penalty kick called and a yellow card given to one player, which created
There's still some confusion on the field. The coaches are still on the field trying to...
I've now been told it's a red card to a player on Plainfield. Now, subsequently, some cards being put out for both teams. I think at this point, cooler heads have prevailed for the meantime. Really just want to make sure that Colonia keeps their head, steer this game to the end, and head to their locker room with that 3-1 victory. As the officials are now discussing further disciplinary actions, Michael, why don't you
I'm
talk
not
about
sure.
how to gather a team after this and really kind of settle them down. Not that
Well, there's a lot of confusion here at the minute. I don't see anybody setting up to take a penalty. There's still some confusion down here as to what's going on.
it's just been a yellow-red given to number 3, Anthony Palatino. Referees are now explaining it to Coach Jaraski. Well, while we wait, why don't we talk about some of these other players? We've got some player profiles that we still would like to get to. And let's talk about Christian Bronco, number 13. He's a 10th grader who really is passionate about soccer. And hip-hop is his favorite music. And science, I think that's our first science fan of the season. So hopefully that young man stays with that and keeps science in his life, because there's definitely some career choices he'll have to make later on. So and going deep into the States last year was his highlight and most memorable soccer moment for Christian Bronco. And he'd like to share with you that the viewing audience of Go Patriots, and that certainly is the theme of the night, at 3-1 with 1:59 left in the second half, as Christian Alvarez steps up for the penalty kick, and goalkeeper Ricardo Medina for Plainfield. And that struck
That was a
into
very
the
well
goal.
taken penalty. So at this stage we have two goal scorers in the game for Colonia.
Christian
Christian
actually,
Alvarez has 2 and Noah Bello has 2.
I noticed his goal celebration appeared to be a yoga position in the corner, and celebrating the 4-1 lead.
What a second half Colonia have had. And it's all down to Noah Bello. He's definitely the man of the match. While there's other great players on the team, he took this game by the scruff of the neck and put his imprint on the second half.
With 40 minutes to go in the game, the Patriots came out into the second half. They were down 1-0 at halftime and came back with 4 goals in the second half, and really has been a senior-dominated performance. And that is a foul on Colonia, which will obviously push some Plainfield players into the box. Ball played to the far post.
It's an outswinger.
Some very talented individual players on this Plainfield team, and in the first half really showed some offensive spirit. And second half, the pressure through the midfield by the Patriots really allowed
Negated.
the real quality came through between Christian Alvarez and Noah Bello, the 2 senior captains, as well as Anthony Polito, who has now left the game under a card situation. But really, the 3 seniors showed up tonight and led the Patriots.
I think this is a quality win for Colonia coming into this game. They'll go home a very happy team tonight.
So as we enter the last few seconds of the game, and there's the final whistle.
It's a 4-1 Colonia win against a quality team.
So the Cardinals of Plainfield High School go to 4-5-1 in the Mountain Division of Union County. and the Patriots of Colonia High School go to 8-2-1 and are leading or at the top of the white division in the Greater Middlesex Conference. Congratulations to the Colonia Patriots for a great game. 4-1 over Plainfield High School. Thanks for tuning in.